Welcome, everybody. I know it's been a long time since we've put out a SJG hand review video, but we're going to go ahead and kind of start up this tradition again. And so joining me today, as always, is J2, and he's actually going to be hosting today. So he's picked the hands, and he will run through all of the hands. And a very special warm welcome to our very own BJ, who affectionately known on SJG as Mayo. We are glad to have him here to provide analysis on these hands. And so looking forward to the 5 hands that we'll be reviewing today. And so I'm going to hand it over to J2. Take it away.
Yeah, most highly requested guest, I would say. Maybe Buster.
Mayo is, well, I loved that Buster show. You did a show with Buster. That was so good. That was probably my favorite show.
Yeah, well, it was such a different one from like the Kevin, which was Kevin Kane was all GTO and Buster was all
I liked Kevin's too. I thought that was fun.
Yeah, and then Buster was all gut feel, right? And it's like, this is what I know about the player and this is what my gut told me.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot.
Buster and Kevin are 2 of my favorite players on the site.
I do like how Buster went on a losing streak after he did his video, because when everyone was in tune with how he was playing. And so
he's like, I wish I never did that.
So just a word of caution, Mayo.
Wait, well, I could only go one way. So this will
that's what I was worried about. I'm like, is BJ gonna try not to reveal any of his insight? Because we are gonna play live with you someday, BJ, where you have the edge. So
someday live. Yes, well, maybe I'll have an edge, but the main insight before we get into any hand is just what is the Scotch meter at, and it's like a bar graph, or no, maybe it's like a tachometer. It's like, I
think Billy asked, does Mayo drink every night or only some nights?
Well, I'll let you be the.
All right,
you can decide that yourself.
So this one I called Mayo versus Set Spike versus Buster, November of 2021. Wow. Looks like Mayo's winning at this point.
You went back in the day for this one. I mean, we're talking a ways away.
It was an interesting one. It just goes off the rails. That's why I was just like, what's going on here? So it looks like Mayo and Buster are the big winners right now in this game. And Chris too.
Simone with a huge stack.
Yeah, Chris.
And so if J1's near the rebuy amount, we'll see where we're at. Okay, so I'll just click it one at a time. So Chris folds, Mayo opens to $1. So
it's
20. Yeah, it's a min click. DZ folds, Buster calls, J1 calls, and Merv calls. So I'm just gonna go through the hand real quickly. Yeah, and then I'll pause it and see if you guys can figure out which each of you has. Okay.
The fun thing is this was like an eternity ago, so I have no idea.
Yeah, there's no way. J1, I think your guys going to be pretty surprised.
Do you remember J1? I have no idea.
I have no idea what this hand is, and all I can say is I hope I played ace 2 of spades here. That's all I can hope.
Same.
In Omaha. Yeah, this is Omaha 8 or better too.
Oh, this is a
dude.
Oh,
no, I'm just kidding. No, it's not.
No, this is a no limit hold'em hand.
That's no limit hold'em. And I mean, there's no way Merv would be sitting at a no limit table. I mean, a 08 table. And actually, J1 looks more like his picture than any of us.
I was gonna say J1's is not bad.
Close.
I like to think of Merv looking like that guy.
That's the first one I picked.
I love Merv.
That was accurate. All right, so monotone flop, right? Yeah. J1 checks. Mayo min bets 50 cents, right?
I love the min bet.
What a surprise.
I love my own play. Yeah. Buster raises to $3, right?
Okay.
J1's cold calls, Merv's out, and Mayo calls. Okay, so what do you guys think you guys have at this point?
I am guessing that Spike I'm guessing you have 1 spade and probably a pretty good one. And I'm guessing I have probably the same. Like, we probably both have a high, but only 1. We probably both have like a king or a queen or something like that as spades.
Yeah, what's Buster raising with, do you think?
Yeah, I would say
an overpair, I think. And he wants to.
I would say that I've got, especially from the small blind, that I've got a spade, a high spade. So ace, king, queen, or spade, I'm probably playing. But I'm also in the small blind as well. So I mean, if I had any ace 10 here, as well, I'm probably playing it. And
Right.
God, if I had even any type of draw, I'm probably playing it. So I mean,
Well, right, because $3 isn't much because I juiced it a little bit pre-flop, right?
Yeah.
So it's like $3 is really tiny, and you've already invested. Yeah, it's such a small amount relative to the pot. It's almost like we should call with any draws.
Yeah. So I mean, I think my range is definitely can be all over the place.
Me too. Yeah. What I'm surprised by here is that one of us didn't push back to Buster just a little bit, just as like a feel.
Yeah.
You know, you and I both will do that against him sometimes in this situation. I really have no idea what we have here so long ago, but sometimes I've seen you do the same thing I do sometimes, which is just a small pushback against Buster to see if he's going to play it cool and just flat to keep it disguised, or if he's going to show like, oh, here's what I have, you know?
Yeah.
I'm surprised neither of us did. So the fact that neither of us did is also interesting, because I think my normal move here would be to like see what does Buster really have, because Buster, in my experience, will make a good move, but then if you do kind of anything that's like a feeler bet, he'll usually show you what he has.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Especially with Buster especially with Buster on the button here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So yeah.
And it's 3 ways, you know, Buster has no reason to super hide it if you're going to play back at him, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I like that. Okay. And honestly, I think you guys are pretty accurate if I remember this hand correctly. All right. Deuce of diamonds on the turn.
Total brick, unless somebody's got a random wheel.
Yeah.
Check. Now Mayo leads out for about a fourth of the pot.
What a weird bet size. I love it.
That is creative.
So
like, yeah. I would think Mayo flop the flush here if I was one of you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So he puts out a 1/3 bet here. So May, you put out a 1/3 bet. You know, again, the software doesn't show whether or not you tanked for a while or when you made this bet. So it's hard to gauge on timing. But again, I mean, I think with a bet here, you know, Mayo could be playing, you know, maybe he's got ace 10 with a ace or king 10 with a high spade and top pair. So that definitely seems right for the type of bet, because one, you could be trying to build the pot, especially if you have, let's say, top pair plus a spade.
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of where I would have put him on. And
I think that's totally possible. For me, when I do this size of bet, it means it usually is pretty polarizing for me, this is why I probably shouldn't talk.
No, I think we're aware that.
Well, at least J2 has already figured this out. But
I think we're all pretty aware that you can have the way, because you don't have consistent betting patterns, and that's very deliberate, right?
Yeah.
So you could have a lot of things here, right?
I could have something really weird here that I don't quite know what to do. So I'm either representing that I'm like doing a pot builder, like you're saying, J1, or it could be that like something weird, like I have like a set of threes or something just insane like that.
Yeah. Where you think you ever have like 2 pair here? And if so, what kind of 2 pair?
Yeah, like a non-spaded 2 pair, something goofy like that. I could totally see me doing something weird like that, where I'm like, well, it's strong, but I'm exposed to the flush, so I'm going to do a little bit of a pot build. If I get jammed into from Buster, I'll run away, something like that. But if you guys both call, then I probably feel good. This is me just speculating. Or it's complete air. There's a total.
They both call.
They both made the call.
Yeah.
So you feel pretty good about your hand.
Now I do, probably. So although it could be complete air.
But if you think you had the best hand when you're betting this way and they both call you, you still feel like you probably still have the best hand. That's what you think.
I probably don't want a spade to come.
So at this point, I'm pretty sure that I'm probably playing a spade here, at least from what I'm looking at. So a high spade.
Yeah.
I've done this software before, and sometimes it doesn't reveal it. So I actually have a copy of the hand history in front of me, so I can tell you exactly what you have in case it doesn't reveal it. Okay.
All good.
Cool. All right. There's another deuce.
I think I hit a boat. I don't know. I have no idea, but I bet somebody.
Now I'm 100% sure I'm playing Doyle here.
I don't. So you just check. Oh, I bet 1050. What? Okay.
Another 1/3.
I either have a complete monster, or I'm trying to pretend like I have a complete monster with a value bet.
So with 26,
that's definitely what you are conveying.
25 in the pot, 25 in the pot. So a $10, $11 into 25. So a little less than half.
And it's
very value-ish.
Last bet, my last bet of 425. I mean, I could have flopped a flush here, but
very value bet here. So yeah, I definitely think you've got 2 spades and you flopped it, and now you're
now I'm frustrated too.
Now you're going for value. You're frustrated,
but I'm also mad, right?
Because the board paired.
I bet you Buster caught up, or yeah. So now I'm pissed at myself for not building more earlier. Oh, okay, maybe not. Okay,
Fold calls.
what you both? Oh wow! And then you called Spike. What
Mayo jams.
Oh, now I'm sure I'm playing Doyle.
Okay, now I actually think I have a boat, and I think Buster flopped a flush. That's my guess.
Buster folds.
What?
What the hell? Right?
What?
So that blows my mind. So we never know what Buster has, right?
Oh, and it never shows. We can't ever figure it out.
Never know. So but my best guess is he had an ace of spades and he's now repping it, and he got caught.
But here's the thing: if he was trying to rep the ace of spades, I think he goes more than the 10 to 30. If he's trying to make a move there, because that's not quite enough to get it. And there's two people behind him. I don't think that makes sense.
Jim, when you watch this video, tell us what you had.
I bet he had a weak. I bet he had a baby flush. I bet he had.
Yeah. So Buster, when you do watch this video, you got to put in the comments what you had here. But
baby flush, actually, that sounds right.
Baby low baby flush makes sense.
And obviously, we only play hands that go to a showdown. So obviously, I'm calling here. So the question is, what did I have?
I can pause it right here because you do call.
Okay, yeah, I have to say, J1, this is a great example where I don't even know what I had here. So I'm guessing I'm either. Yeah, I have no idea what you have. You're the most confusing on this whole thing. Right?
Because I'm just cold calling. Because I'm
right, and you're squeezed.
Exactly.
You never do anything to show anything in this whole hand.
So I'm thinking I've pocket threes here. Is what I'm.
Oh, geez, that'd be wild. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what happened.
So my takes on this is that okay, I know J1. I'm quoting J1 on this is that I assume Mayo doesn't have it 80% of the time, right? So when Buster folds, I think J1 could call here with a wide range, even as weak as a 10.
As weak as an ace 10, yeah, I think ace 10, king 10. This will be interesting.
Well, it's a good board for me to make a move like this. Oh my God, 6-5. So you have a straight.
Oh,
so
I don't know. I just had top pair. I think.
No, you have a.
I did have the straight. Yeah, I did.
So J1 turned the straight.
And
I rivered the boat.
And then you rivered the boat. Ah, interesting.
This is like Twilight Zone. This is Bizarro Land. This is this is the rare.
That's why I decided to start off with this one and how I had to go a year and a half back for BJ to run good against you, J1.
So this is so fun. So on the flop, I just completely have just nonsense. So that was it was just a little feeler like, what's going on? But weirdly, Buster and Spike both just kind of kept it disguised and called. On the turn, now I'm thinking, well, so that does make sense now. My little $4 turn bet, I'm like, I got two pair. Let's see. Now I'm convinced for sure that Jim had like an ace of spades. You're right, actually, Jay. That makes a lot more sense because he just flats, right? And Spike, at this point, it's funny because at this point you've got one card to a baby flush, and you do have a straight draw. You have an up and down straight draw, but then
I would say I think what I'm thinking here is I don't want to commit my stack right now because if I were to raise, if on the turn, if I'm to raise and kind of commit, someone could already have the flush. If there's still, if I were to raise, there's two people behind me who still get to act. Right. And I could be drawing dead. Already. So I think that's why I flatted to see if a spade doesn't come on the river. And then if a spade doesn't come on the river, I just felt a little more comfortable.
Unless unfortunately for you, the river.
Unless in this case the board pairs.
And you're like, geez. Yeah, it's such a weird thing. That makes sense to me from where you're at. Because now you're like, look, I have the straight, so let's flat. Let's just see if I can sweat out a spade. I'm probably good. Because you, of course,
now my question is
not want a spade. But the funny thing is, this makes me think, going back to the beginning of the hand, when Spike and I were both kind of just being like really goofy on the flop, kind of like, well, who knows? Let's see what develops. That's where Jim had to get us off the hand.
Yes.
Right on the flop, Buster just needs to slam into it. Let's assume he had the ace of spades, because we would both run away. Right. No, we know that now. It's easy to know that now, but we would have both ran away on the flop if he came after us. Like if he, when I did that little feeler.
Yeah. If he went, when you put your feeler out bet for 50 cents, and then if Buster had immediately gone, hey, I'm gonna go 10 on this.
Yeah, we're gone.
It would have been impossible for me to call even with open ended there, knowing that there are 3 spades on the board. So
unless I was a fifth of scotch in or something, it would have been impossible even for me to call. on the flop. I mean,
Yeah, that's an interesting way.
I love that hand. I don't even have to go back because you guys already went through from beginning to end. I have a question. If J1, if Buster wasn't in the hand, would you have played this any stronger on the turn, do you think?
Yes, if Buster wasn't in the hand, knowing I probably would have definitely when BJ makes his $10 10.50 bet, I definitely would have had to have put him to the test.
Yeah.
In that. And the problem what gets me is that after BJ's bet, oh, it was 425. Oh, wait, that's the software.
And but they didn't erase the pot when I went backwards. Yeah.
I think when BJ makes his turn bet and then Buster raises, that's where I'm like, crap. So I still put Buster. I'm pretty sure I still put Buster on a high spade, especially being in position. I still put him on a high spade, which is why I flatted. But if Buster's not there, then yes, absolutely, I would put BJ to the test at this point and say, hey, look, let's.
Yeah, and at that point, even with the 2 pair, it'd be really hard for me to call.
Oh yeah,
you just screaming that you have the flush.
Yeah.
I have no clue that you have the straight. Obviously, that's just so disguising the straight.
It's super disguised. I wouldn't put J1 on the straight at all.
Like, what's he floating 5-6? Yes,
apparently. Well, and he probably doesn't float without the spade. I don't think.
No, sure. But even then, it's just a baby flush.
Yeah.
Jim, it's possible Jim had a baby flush the whole time that he flopped. That's the other possibility. It doesn't make quite as much sense to me as a high spade, but
yeah. I think position wise, he could have had a baby flush, but I don't think he's folding a baby flush. I think he probably had top pair and a kicker, and and I think that's where he was at. So cool, nice hand.
Yeah, that was a great hand. Nice hand, PJ. Here's where you play against Chris, and I just changed his avatar because I didn't give him one yet.
That's a good one for Chris.
Yeah, that's what I was about to give that to you, Mayo, but I think that's giving you too much of what.
And Merb and Billy are both in here. Now you said, did Billy pick a hand too? I just at the beginning you were saying.
Yeah, that's going to be the. Let me see if that's the final hand actually.
Go Billy. Proud of Billy, and it's not Billy be the Garlic King. This is
it's funny. Billy was like, dude, the Garlic King got lucky on me last night. I'm like, okay, I guess this is the thing now. People just call him the Garlic King.
I love the Garlic King.
Looks like I'm gonna have to change BB Prince avatar regardless.
Make it a giant garlic bulb.
I gotta find
actually the next hand is from Billy, and also Billy was really worried about this this podcast that we're about to do. I mean, our video. We didn't know if it was going to be a big fight or cordial. But but we're not through it yet.
Oh, it's all love. All love.
All right.
Love. I need to just do everything vocally and not do text, I think, and then everybody will realize that.
Dude, BJ in person is the best person to hang out with ever.
I don't know. Sorry, this is a family friendly show.
All good.
Even if I'm saying F you, you got to come.
Oh, he froze. Did you freeze it?
Oh, there you go. Now you're back.
Yeah, right. No, BJ in person, the same exact sentence is so different live. It's crazy. Like, I'm actually glad he said to F my mother. Actually, it's amazing. I love it when he says that. But in the chat, it just comes off as
like, here, have some more Macallan, you son of a bitch.
Oh, the drink selection at BJ's is awesome too.
All right, so this is fun. I see the pots. We actually have pretty similar stack sizes to start. Looks like Merb's got 50, Chris has 64. I've got 75, and Billy.
Yeah, and these are all people in the middle that like a King Roman and a Vigo and stuff like that aren't really involved in it.
The Vigs.
Yeah. Okay. So this Vigs limps in, Master just limps in too. You make it $4 this time. So this is I put this because it was like a nice contrast to your sort of the min click.
I love this. I love that Sifu's in the hand.
Yeah. Well, he's going to be involved. So Merv folds. Chris cold calls from the small blind.
Oh,
and
interesting.
Also Master calls.
So for me, I don't know about you, J1. Right away, my hair is standing up when Chris calls from the small blind a real raise.
Yeah, this is interesting. So, I mean, obviously a $4 raise from you in late position with only one other person, that seems pretty standard. You pretty much could have a wide range here. You could be playing any 2 face cards. You could be playing any two suited cards.
Sure.
Here you could even have anywhere from a low to mid pocket pair. yeah, so you got a pretty wide range here.
I agree. I mean, well, and I'm in the cutoff. I mean, I prefer the cutoff and over the button. Interestingly, I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds weird, right? But
It's less obvious that you could be being extra tricky.
It's
But
less
everyone's
obvious
tricky
trying
from
to
the
buy
button.
the pot. Yeah, trying to buy the pot.
Well, what I'm not trying to buy the pot. Probably. My
Oh,
guess,
I don't think you are here. Yeah.
I'm probably trying to ISO. I'm guessing.
Okay, so this is the hand I decided to tell you what you have ahead of time, so we can hear your analysis in real time. So it'll be fun. You have ace king with the ace of hearts.
Okay.
Okay. Ace king off. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds
So I'm
good.
trying.
So you have two. You have a red ace and red ace king, and so with the ace of hearts. Okay.
Ooh, fun.
Right.
Okay.
So check, check. You pot it.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't know. So ace king, right? I've got Broadway draw. It's it's just one side of it, and then I've got a gutter ball,
backdoor flush draw with the ace of
backdoor flush
hearts.
draw and a gutter ball. A 10 straight draw, and plus I'm guessing at this point if I hit the ace or the king, it's probably good. Is my guess. So I feel like I got a lot of like possible equity paths, but I also probably am behind technically because I'm betting Chris probably has like a pocket pair or something to make the call he did. So I'm probably just trying to take it down. I sometimes just believe in that on the flop, taking the muzzle off of ace king and let it do its work and then see what happens. The other thing this will do is it'll almost certainly ISO me. One of them's going to go away is probably the other reason I'm doing it.
Yeah, but we're also talking about Simone and Sifu here. So
That's
maybe
true.
not.
Well,
That's true. So that's what I was thinking is that you can actually have a lot of really, really strong hands here because it's not like if you're going to get calls from a lot of weak hands. You can have pocket queens here. You can have pocket jacks. You raise so big pre-flop. I don't mind the bet. I like the bet.
The one thing I'm absolutely sure, though, if I'm anyone else on the table, what I'm absolutely sure is that Mayo doesn't have two hearts at this point, because I think that would have been a pot builder bet from you instead of potting it. So if I'm
probably
Chris,
by me, you're right. I need to modify that because you're totally right. If I had two strong hearts here, I'm not doing that because I don't want people to run away. I don't want anyone to go anywhere. In fact, I don't want to ISO. I want them both to stay in.
Yeah.
So
that's
before
really
today. So before today, if you had ace king of hearts, you would have bet more closer to $5. You're saying?
I think J1's exactly on point because I don't want either of them to go away.
Yeah,
and that makes sense.
If I hit it, I want to maximize, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So it's the old joke on when you're betting your draws, if you hit it, you want as much people in there as possible.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely right, J1. Now, unless this is an amazing, brilliant move where I'm trying to think try to get Chris to think that.
Yeah, sometimes you level yourself. So that's the Scotch. The Scotch puts you like 4 levels too high sometimes.
No, it's absolutely true.
Yeah, this is a hand from one of my emails that I went over with Billy. So I actually don't have the date of when I pulled this hand. So this could have been anywhere.
I don't remember this. It could
we need to, I think going forward, we need to also include the time that this hand happened at.
Oh, that's good.
Good call. Was this at 1 in the morning or was this at like 9:30?
Right. Well, Billy's still on. It's not 1 in the morning, probably.
We'll think about that for future videos.
Well, it could have been a Friday, but maybe the day of the week.
Look, they both call you, brother.
Okay. They both call. So now I'm probably like, so we already know I have ace king off 8. Yeah. So now I'm like, shit. Basically, now I'm just like, shit. Okay. Now. Oh,
I mean, is that a perfect barrel card or what? Right. I don't know.
I mean, man, but now I am thinking that one of them has like a set of jacks or a set of queens.
Well, I mean, I think if someone's got a set of jacks, it would probably be Sifu here, and Chris. For all we know, Chris could be playing 2-7 of hearts here. So
that's you know what? God damn it, he could be. To give Chris a lot of credit, he's a good player, but he also mixes up his plays, obviously with the 2-7 nonsense. But every now and again, he'll pull something wild out. What I think Chris does not do is he will back down sometimes, I think, a little early when he knows he's behind. So I'm probably thinking here, if I can jam and get Chris off, but you're right. Sifu is probably the thorn in my side here because I have pocket jacks makes a lot of sense for him.
Yeah.
Chris is hard.
Yeah, I think Chris would have check raised pocket jacks on the flop just because he wants to protect. I know Chris, he likes protecting against a flush draw.
Yep. And then, of course, the other thing that's important here is even though I don't have the made flush yet, in case one of them does, I have the ace. And so that's a huge advantage.
Yeah, you're never drawing dead.
Now I'm really curious to see who bets out here first.
I don't just mean I'm not drawing dead.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, interesting.
So now Chris leads out.
Okay, I don't know what I'm going to do here, but like just as if I'm playing this right now, knowing what I hand, I would probably just flat here.
You're spot on. You'll see at the end of this hand, you were spot on almost everything on this.
Wow.
And he folds to the smallest bet ever. So I don't know what
how
John
big
had
is
here.
The pot's 60. Yeah. So maybe
you know what? So Sifu here probably could have been playing 9-10. You know, could have been open ended here.
that makes a lot of sense. I like 9-10.
That does make a lot of sense.
He could have been open ended here, or he could have just had top pair at this point. But there's no way
he could have like a pair of 9s.
Yeah, he could have had anything in there, but you know,
I know Sifu can have, because he just limped in. He probably could have. He could have king 4.
He could have had like king 4. Yeah, totally. That makes sense.
So you're right. Mayo just calls.
I just flatted, and then God, that's tough. That is a tough situation. Jeez, what do I do here? Oh, and then he jams. God, I have to. I guess. This is probably where I should fold, but I probably had enough scotch to call. Is my guess.
And you did.
That's the wrong.
Let me see if it doesn't reveal his hand. He had king 9 here. With the king of hearts.
So Chris had king 9 here.
He had air when he jammed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, so I don't know how he check calls that flop.
Huh.
It was a bizarre hand. So
well, here's the thing about that hand. If our hands had got where we wanted our hands to get, he's just destroyed. If the 10 gets there, I've got the higher straight. If the heart gets there, I've got this higher flush. If he's just in bad shape here.
He needs to hit an offsuit 9, right? That's the only thing he could do to beat you.
Is that it? Because
I think so.
If a king comes, he's screwed.
He's outkicked.
He is in bad shape.
Man, Chris is just a terrible player.
He's
not good.
He's basically drawing what is the equity there? He's in such bad shape.
Yeah. So in hindsight,
he's got 2 outs basically.
In hindsight, I'm not really liking Chris's one third bet on the turn, because he absolutely from small blind, it would have been interesting if he jammed on the 6 of hearts.
I agree with you. Yeah.
Oof, that's a great question. Mayo, do you think you have it in you to call there with the ace of hearts?
On the turn, no.
Yeah.
And now that I'm looking at it more carefully, I'm realizing the only reason I was able to win this hand because of his move is because at that point the pot was too big for me to fold to. $35, I can't lay it. What was the pot at that point? Over 100.
Well, it was 45. It was, I'm just saying on the turn, it was 45 on the turn.
I agree on the turn.
Only puts a 1/3, but if he had jammed on the turn.
He kept 30 behind for no reason. It was interesting.
That's what I'm saying. No, J1, you're exactly right. If he jams on the turn, I'm probably going away. But once he kind of half does it, and the amount he did it, I have to call with all the draws I have.
Yeah, because then you pick up equity on the river.
Right. And so then I can't go away at that point. It's like Chris just backed himself into a corner, you know? Yeah.
Sorry, Chris. You do play a lot of great. You play
a great player, but not that hand.
Next hand, you're going to see me get completely owned. So,
all right.
Well played. I don't know what I was thinking. The next hand is terrible. I'm going to have to explain myself.
I can't wait. This will be fun. I agree with you though, J1. So while he's pulling that up, the thing with Chris is I think everybody feels differently, and I know that I'm hard to put on a hand because I mix up my bets. I think Chris, for me, is the hardest person to put on hands. I just cannot place him.
I think that's true. I think 08 is a little easier for me, but I played a lot of people like Chris in 08. So yeah. All right. I'm supposed to reveal to you that you have 2 black 3s in this hand.
Mayo does.
Okay.
Mayo does.
Mayo's got pocket trips or pocket
3s.
Got the
and all right. So fold. Buster opens up 4x.
And he's got a big stack behind him. See, for me, you guys are we're all learning about each other in these shows. I'm always hyper aware of stack size, relative stack size. That's everything. So Buster's got me doubled up. Billy's also hot. He's up a good bit.
So Billy always wins. He's stupid.
J2, you're in decent shape too.
I cold called this. I don't cold call this hand ever. I'm so mad at myself. Every street I'm mad at myself.
Blind. A cold call from the small blind from you. If I were to see that today, I'd be like, did Vivi hit his mouse and no,
I'm in the cutoff at least. Mayo called from the small blind.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mayo called from the small blind. Never mind. I thought you guys were switched. Never mind. Okay,
but I'll just tell you, I cold called with Queen Jack off against Busters under the gun, under the gun +1 open. This is not a cold call. This is a fold or a 3-bet to bluff. But this is a terrible call. You're gonna see me play this hand terribly. I play this hand
But J2, I'll tell you this though, I'm scared right now because it's so unorthodox for you. So
How scared of you are you now, though?
I feel really good now.
Right?
But it's such a weird move for you to do that, and that's obviously why I'm just flatting the 2 probably. But also, I love that there's a lot of action with 3s because 3s are just a drawing hand, right? So same thing. So if your draw is going to get there on the 3s, you want as many players in. So
Here comes a check. Oh, he bets.
No.
He does the min bet.
Look, so now we see how balanced that bet is, right? He's had weird things, and he's had practically the nuts here, right? So I hate that bet. It's so hard to deal with.
It works.
Well, I treat it as a check. That's what I've decided.
Well, that's the move, and I don't want to. Well, everyone's going to see this, but that's J2, J1. We've discussed this for years now, and Radula, he just said, like, hey, if I just treat it as a check, all the power of it goes away, and it's true.
Yeah. I stopped crying at that moment because I always
don't tell anybody to treat it like
Actually, I wish we had the live chat for that last hand when Chris jammed the river, because I bet you it was a lot of, wow, it's such a good bet. There's so much in the pot, though. What can you have? And I can imagine Mayo just going through
I probably talked myself into it. Yeah.
All right, it was a good call.
Buster raises. Ooh, I'm over here salivating at this point. I'm just very happy.
Yeah, I mean, Buster probably has a lot of over pairs. I know exactly what he has.
He could have ace queen right now.
That's actually spot on. So eventually Buster folds. So I'll just tell you he had king queen. I remember talking to him about this hand. So that's spot on. And I cold call with queen jack for no reason.
What are you doing?
I don't know. It's not something I usually do. And you just call, so you're completely hidden here.
Uh-oh.
That is really weird. Okay.
I'm getting so owned in this hand, it's not even funny. Like, you're getting the max out of me. Like, I'm folding every raise,
Sure.
I'm getting so owned here.
So I just
that was a handsome avatar. I think I picked the most handsome one for myself.
Yeah, that was good. So interestingly, you're behind Jim, it turns out, too.
Okay. Yeah. I'm
got you out,
against Jim's under the gun +1 range that raises your c-bet. I mean, I'm never good here.
Yeah, but Buster knows something's up since both of you called. So.
That's true. That's the only thing, is that Buster's probably a little nervous. But
well, let me tell you, in the chat afterwards, Buster's like, I was really afraid of your hand, actually. So it turns out I'm just playing stupid. So okay, here's your boat.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Boom. There's the boat.
So we're drawing dead. We have each other's outs, basically.
Buster's got a check here.
This will just be interesting to see, how do I get max value? Okay, so I do a little tiny quarter pot size bet, right? I'm actually kind of surprised I bet there at all and not checked. Are you?
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like you actually almost you actually almost killed your value on the hand by making that bet.
I have a counter argument. I think at this point Buster starts shutting down now with me calling in position. I feel like what Mayo's afraid of is it's just going to go check on this turn, and he's going to get some value out of us.
And remember, there's 2 behind me still. So and the 2 strong tight players behind me.
Yeah, but I think at this point it's like, if I've got pocket 3s and I'm in Mayo's position, I'm just like, I'm probably only going to get one more street of value, because since I let out with a small bet, probably repping a 5.
Yeah.
I mean, usually against A game J, but apparently this is like F game Jason Radula. All right, because I overcall again here too.
Oh, wow. So J1, just really quick comment on that, J1 too. Another thing, and this is my downfall in poker, and also why I have some really good nights sometimes in Vegas, especially, is because I'm greedy. So even if it's true that I want,
you kind of have to be. If you're going to go reckless and we know you can have anything, you got to get max value, right?
No, Jason Radula and I talk about this all the time, J1, that like my hands where I'm doing crap like this with nothing is how I get paid on these. And so if I'm going to do it on those other hands, that's the point of doing them on the other hands, is to get value here.
Yeah.
But
you got $10 more out of this turn than most people would. Yeah. I think, and it's a good size. You're not scaring anyone. I think we have to call with king. Well, king queen has to call. I don't have to overcall that. I was just like, there's so much in the pot. I think I convinced myself Buster could be calling you with like jacks because he doesn't believe you. Yeah, totally. But it's a real stretch.
It's funny that I put him on ace queen right out of the gate, though.
Yeah, I mean, it was spot on, and he had king.
I don't remember that. Do you know how long ago this was?
Yeah, I was hoping it was from 2020 because it was so badly played, but it was April of 2022, so it was almost exactly a year ago.
I have no memory of this. Okay.
Well, you're, alcoholic memory. What is that called? It's like, anyway.
So 6
is go for 19
6
here.
Is a brick.
Yeah. Well, you assume it's a brick. I mean, guess it's possible someone was floating pocket sixes, but no, I have to assume it's a breaker. So I come out with 19 again. Yeah, just trying to get max value, I guess. And I think
Buster messages me here. He's like, I'm folding king queen. I folded king queen here because you're behind me, and I think what would you have overcalled with? And apparently I overcalled with queen jack. I don't know. I'm just gonna let Mayo own me, I guess. I just don't know how to play you, Mayo. I don't know how to do about that.
I don't know how to play you. So for the friends watching at home on this video, you just a constant thread between Radula and I both is I have no idea how to play him. He has no idea how to play me. We know each other's games so well. I'm just when I'm in a hand against Dizzler, I'm just screwed. I'm like, I don't know what to do.
I don't know what about this hand where you got a $72 pot from a hand I should have folded pre-flop. So.
You know what's funny is it really helped me that Buster was in that hand, clearly.
Well, look at his face. Look how happy he is.
That's a fun hand. That's great. For Mayo.
Yeah, that was good for you. Okay, so the leveling war I have here, hand 4, we'll do last because I think that'll be a fun one to end on. Cool. So hand 5, I'm going to keep Mayo's hand hidden.
The Mayo
and J1's.
Don't tell me this.
Yeah, I won't tell you this one. I think you'll. This one's a head scratcher.
Okay, hey J1, are you like me right now? Immediately, does it look like this probably late at night now?
Yeah, this is definitely a late at night hand, given that.
And this is like thank Kobe. He's like it's like 3 a.m. for him if he's in New York. Like what is?
Oh no, it's true. No, it's 11 p.m. This one's February 16th, 2022 at 11 p.m.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is definitely got to be at least 11 or midnight, given the number of players who are on the table.
Right.
It was probably a random Wednesday night, is what I'm expecting.
You remember who villain 1 is?
That's King Roman.
Okay. Cool.
Dude, King Roman crushes, by the way. That dude's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. Kobe folds. So it's just small blind versus big blind.
Oh, geez.
He just limps, checks. So you guys have anything.
Nobody's got anything.
Where Merb like just jams everything for a $2 pot, and I got so pissed off that I just called out of anger. Is that this hand?
No.
We all know that hand. I was just so mad in principle. I'm like, this is wrong. You don't do
it feels like an insult to poker sometimes.
It does. I felt like I was doing it for poker. Like you can't give him $100 into a $2 pot. It just made me so mad.
Poker is my first love.
You know why he does that, right? Because he hates the idea of like aces and kings getting cracked. So
sure, but I'm sorry, you have to take a little risk that they'll get cracked to get a little value out of them. Now, unless Mayo's at your table, because I'll just pay him off out of anger.
All right.
Okay, so what happens here? So I bet a tiny little $1 bet.
So nothing going on now. The check raise.
Okay, see, I have no clue what I have here. I mean, at this point, I could have absolutely anything.
Anything you say. Okay.
Anything.
Well, I mean, now that you called the check raise, you called the check raise, so you have to have hit in some way, shape, or form. So I'm gonna put you like on 7-8 here.
That makes sense. I like that. I have to tell you, just again, I have no idea what my hand is. I like my position here a lot. I just like that I have position on him. And
okay, so my question is, okay, you definitely call Queen Jack, right? You definitely call a set, right? Would you ever call with an underpair here, like with pocket sevens? What do you think?
Yeah, I think I would.
Just because of position and how small it is?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is the fun thing about playing for these stakes that we play at. Like, if this is a 2-5 game and then you just translate all that to 2-5 numbers, there's just a reality that like, oh, it's a whatever that would be, $40 or whatever. It's like, okay, like it's I already have $1 in. It's $3 more. It's a Taco Bell.
Right.
There is just a reality to the stakes. Jason, we had a nice philosophical conversation about this the other night that like people say stakes don't matter. And I'm like, really? Then play like a 0.001 game, 0.002 game. It will matter. Like and so this is real money. I'm not saying like it's not $4, but there is something about, so that's why I'd call with sevens. But I'm with you. Jack, Queen, 7-8, those make a lot of sense. I could have hit a 9. Pair of 9s here.
You're calling with any 9. You're calling with any 10.
With a lot of stuff here.
Yeah.
And then if he jams again and I miss, then I'm gone. But like I can $3 more.
He's like, I'll see one more card. So that's the way I treat it differently than Mayo. Because if I have pocket 8s here against Merv specifically, I am folding whether it's 25-50 or 100-200.
That brings up a very good point that, again, for the listeners, Radula and I talk about all the time, which is that I am just really not good online at remembering tendencies. Even guys I played with.
Even Merv rarely check raises the flop. You know that.
And but in person, I'm like, that's my superpower, is I know everybody's tendencies after like one button. But
Right.
online, because Jason takes notes. Literally, he has pages and pages of notes on everybody. I should do that, but I'm over here having fun.
I'll
Drinking.
show you some.
Remember,
I'll show
I
you some.
probably
You guys
have
are gonna feel
windows open. I'm probably watching Jimmy Kimmel. I probably have like some, I have a lot. So then I like, oh, $3, sure. There's a lot of that happening too. Whereas live,
what do you put Merv on at this point?
What do you think, Jay?
So Merv's got to have. Well, this is interesting because he flatted pre-flop. So I'd put him on something like Jack 10, Jack 10, Queen 10,
all of those.
Yeah,
he could even. You know what? He could have 10-9. He could have 10-9.
Yeah, he could have 10-9 here, but
you can even have 10-4, right? Because he was a small blind.
Yeah, and the fact that he went to $4 on the check raise is like he has to have. I think he at a minimum he's got a 10.
See, again,
and you got to understand $4 to Merv is like $300 to beat.
Right, I know. And again, that's you guys playing tendencies, and I'm just so bad at that. I'm just not tracking people's tendencies. I mean, with a couple exceptions, like with Chris, I'm always aware it could be 2-7, but otherwise, All right, so yeah, okay. I'm guessing I just flatted here with just absolutely anything, basically. I mean, I'm probably like $3. Let's see another card. Okay, now.
So, okay, I would also assume that Merv has some kind of 10 here, so a lot of the time.
Yeah,
so
I definitely think I don't even know what my cards are, but I got to be behind. Probably at this point, I'm like, well.
But then he checks again on the turn.
So I do it again.
I feel like this is disrespectful to Merv, honestly. I feel like
now here comes the check raise again.
This looks like I'm smarter than you, Bet.
There's
I gotta tell you, I love that. Oh, and he just called. So he does a check raise on the flop, then he check flats on the turn.
On a card that should be a complete brick.
Should be a total brick.
I mean, if you're playing Doyle Brunson, you're scared of that card, right?
Okay, you know what I hope I have here? I'm hoping now I have 2 diamonds.
I mean, that's I could see that.
I had to be betting that, expecting him to do
10 on the river.
Oh, geez.
Thanks again.
Oh, I love the sizing.
Boom.
Oh, there he's
got. Okay, so now he's got pocket 4s or pocket 9s. That's
or a 10. He could have just ace 10, something like that.
No, I think if he had a 10, he continues.
Well, but here's the thing about that turn bet. It was so weird that I did that maybe he was like, "What? I don't know. I don't know."
And then you jam.
Sure, but for hardly anything left, there's like
another 20, which he's gonna call.
He has to. All right.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
This is a fun show. This is just the highlight reel.
Yeah. And Merv had King 10.
Oh, see?
Yeah. Oh, so the 10 just kills him on the river. Just annihilates him. Oh, that's like the worst. But so I still don't understand why he just calls back on the turn.
I don't. Yeah,
it's a blank. It's a complete blank.
Well, and the fact
unless he had pocket deuces
again, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he could have saved him. He could have saved his stack if he makes a turn bet, and then
I jam.
And then you jam, or at least you put a pretty sizable raise in that.
Which I almost certainly would have, yeah.
Yeah, so
I don't know if I could fold King 10 to even any raise again when Mayo raises the turn.
Because it's we all said it was a brick, right? We all are like, oh, that's a nothing card.
That doesn't change anything. Right.
Everybody thinks that that's a blank.
It doesn't change anything, but if you put a raise out on the turn, Merv now has to evaluate, okay, does BJ have 10-9? Does he have ace-9? I mean, ace 10 or ace 10 or, or
I personally think Mayo plays Jack Queen of diamonds this way sometimes.
Absolutely.
8-7 of diamonds. He'll raise. He'll put in.
So, but your point is that he should have re-raised me on the turn. He should have stuck to his check raise.
Absolutely.
I was basically baiting him, right? It was clear. I was just like, haha, will you do it again? And it's Or you know what else he could have done a continuation bet on the turn. Like it was weird.
Yeah, well, that's the standard, right? If you're gonna check raise a flop,
right?
You go ahead and bet close.
He was like, "Oh, I'll be sneaky by checking now," and like, "Well, I'll be sneaky by doing $1 again." But then he just flats it.
But what's interesting is if he let out on the turn, pretty sure you're just calling whatever. Pretty sure you're just calling whatever bet.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. The only way I'm going to really get money there is if I do my little check raise thing again, or trying to get him to do it. But you're right. He leads out. I just flat.
But if he had gone down the same route of checking, and then you put a bet out and he put a raise out, you would have come over the top, and then he would have saved himself money because he
That's the only way he saves money, because once he gets to that river, he's done. He's screwed. He's losing his stack. So That's the only way he could have saved himself money was by picking a standard line after the check raise on the flop.
Yeah.
It's a limped pot, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
My hand
I'm
makes a
going
lot of
broke
sense
with
now.
king 10 there.
We'd have to go back in time to hear what I said, but I think on the flop, I think I said it's possible I just have a little under pair. I think I
You
said,
did.
yeah, because that would make sense with the positions. We were both the blinds.
Sure. Yeah, you could be any four as well. You're calling it if you get any piece of that flop. Yeah.
So BJ called his own hand correctly, and then J1 knew exactly what Merv had. You know, me and J1 have been studying Merv forever.
Yeah,
Since Sunday Poker, we've been.
Yeah, I need to take.
And we've talked a lot of Merv hands on this show too, right?
Yes, we have. We have talked a lot.
You know, it's interesting. I've noticed this, Jason. I'm much better online figuring people out if I've even met them one time in person.
I can see that.
I've never met Merv. I know he's a great human being, but he's a cool dude. But
I actually haven't met Merv in person either.
Yeah, neither have I.
It's just interesting. It's a fun side conversation about getting reads online is so hard for me. I'm so bad at it. But there's something about knowing the human being, like actually just knowing them a little bit.
I mean, and it's more fun that way too.
Well, it's more fun, but it's much easier anyway. Cool.
Well, I get it too. I mean, you've cut your teeth live, right? And it gives it, if anything that makes it closer to live, you're going to play better, I think.
Yeah. So for people that don't know, I got serious about poker in 2008. I started playing in 2005, but I got serious in 2008. And when I was doing my doctorate, my PhD work out at UConn in Connecticut, and so I lived about 15 minutes from the Mohegan Sun, and we were really poor. We were living on an absolute shoestring graduate student budget. We had 2 little babies, Toby and Nora, little kids, and I had no money. And so I basically paid our way through grad school with poker. I would just drive up there and treat it like a job and just grind at like a 1-2 game and make $50 and walk away after and be like happy. Cause that was what I was making those days. That was a great hourly rate. If I could make $50 in 4 hours, I'm like, I made $12 an hour. And so I would just grind and grind and grind.
Hold on. Sorry to interrupt you. I just want people to hear what you said. It's like, if I were to just take this as kind of a job and, once I hit $50,
yep.
You know what? Some good advice for some of the folks on SJG. If you know what, take your $50 win, maybe you played 30 minutes, maybe you played 2 hours, but there's no shame in walking away with $50.
Or just taking all that money and going to the Omaha 8 or better table.
Yeah. So for Diz, when you're watching this, enough of the practice rounds. Come join us on the.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, Diz is DZ.
And J1, exactly. It's so much has to do with where you're at in life. Like so many times, as you guys have all seen, everybody watching this sees, Mayo's charts are like this. So I have a lot of nights where I'm way up, and then I give it all the way back again after the scotch kicks.
Yeah, I let everyone know, hey, BJ's having a stressful time at work. You better show up tonight.
That's true.
That's messed up.
Well, J2 sends out the alert that goes to everyone except you, Mayo. If
Yeah.
No, but what I meant was actually just that where I'm at right now financially, I don't care. I'm like, let's have fun. Whereas, back in those days, I'm like, hey, I'm up $50. I got to get out of here and protect the $50. It's just sort of where you're at in life. But yeah, if you treat it like a job, and that's what I did. So for about 4 years, I was probably playing, I don't know, thousands and thousands of hours live, constantly. I would literally just do it almost every night. I'd get the kids to bed and I'd drive up and just play live for a few make a little money, go to home, because we needed the money. And so that's how everything about poker for me is live. So online will forever be hard for me for that reason. Anyway, sorry to go to story.
And BJ's an intimidating person, and I mean, I don't know how friendly. You probably are friendly at the casinos too.
Oh, super friendly.
But it takes away it makes you more of a cuddly bear. But you're an imposing figure. 6'3", 200 pounds or whatever you want. Okay.
I wish I was 200 pounds.
200. Okay, this one it's a little experiment. Okay, guys, because I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you, J1 has pocket jacks here with the jack of diamonds.
Fun.
Okay.
And Mayo has ace-9 with the ace of diamonds. Okay.
All right.
So you have a jack of diamonds, I have an ace of diamonds. Okay.
And pocket jacks versus ace-9. Okay.
That's just a fun hand in general. Ace-9 versus pocket jacks.
Yeah.
That's basically, it's interesting. I mean, you're ahead by a fair bit because my 9 is under your jacks, but otherwise it's pretty interesting.
And
here's that 8x open.
I like that I have the button here, so this will be interesting.
Yeah, and I'm in bad position against you, yeah. And I'm in bad position just in general in this hand because Chris behind me.
This could be an ace jack flop, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that was.
So this is a weird one for me. And remember, every Mayo hand I've shown so far, Mayo's been the genius. All right. Uh-oh. So this one, I really got to figure out.
I'm due.
All right, so Mayo flops top pairs
for me. Oh, that's a bad flop for me. I am in
especially
so much
between
trouble.
you guys' history, right? And well, no, this is 2021. So this is December 2021.
I'm in
Okay.
so much trouble right now. I am.
But it's a cooler flop anyway. So Mayo has top pair with the backdoor
the
diamonds,
backdoor
right?
Yep.
diamond. I'm in bad shape.
And
Yeah.
J1's got the over pair on the button, which
And he also
looks
has the gutter ball
bluffy.
straight, I guess.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
running gutter ball.
Yeah.
Running gutter ball. Yeah.
So Mayo goes ahead and leads out.
I'd be really
34.
curious what I like my lead out here because
All right. So don't click next. So I'm gonna.
yeah, I'm
kinda
really
think
curious
like-
what you're going to do here, J1. What do you think you do?
So I look at that and I'm just like, probably the first thing that comes into my head, like if this hand were played today, the first thing that comes into my hand is like, oh, Mayo's betting his 2 diamonds.
Right.
Hmm.
Sure.
So especially from the small blind,
Sure.
or excuse me, from the big blind, it's an easy call to make.
Big blind special. Yeah.
So if he's got 2 diamonds, he's definitely leading out. So for $4,
Yeah.
if this hand were played today, I'm probably insta raising this to 12 or 13.
Sure. I agree completely. And because you just don't, all you're really worried about is the diamonds. You're thinking like overpair, Mayo probably is floating. Yeah, totally.
I like the bet. Yeah, I
mean,
like
I'm
the
more
bet with
than
top pair,
happy to-
top kicker.
Yeah, I'm more than happy to take the pot down at where it is right now, especially with jacks, because again, any king, queen, ace that comes out
Here's
is
what's going to suck for me, J1. If you, let's assume you do go over the top here on me, which you should. I agree with the analysis. I'm in bad. I'm probably going to call.
I can't fold ace-9 here against
I'm
J1.
in bad shape.
yeah.
Yeah.
Top pair, top. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. So you min raise.
I min clicked. I min raised.
Beautiful. So of course I have to call. I might even re-raise because I'm stupid.
No, J1 does this with a lot of top pair hands too.
Yeah.
You could have the best hand here a lot.
King 9. He could have king 9. And so
King
I'm
9.
like, all right. Yeah. So I
he opened from the button. J1 could have a lot of things, right?
do I re-raise? I bet I re-raise.
No, you just call.
I just call. Interesting.
Save some money here.
Well,
So that I thought that street was played. It's pretty standard actually.
yeah, we both pretty
Yeah.
But I think I agree with J1. More standard would have been to 12.
12.
Yeah.
Yeah. 12 or even 15. Yeah.
And the Mayo just calls, and that's all standard. You can't
Yeah,
fold.
that's what I'm saying. If I were to play this hand today, I'm definitely going somewhere between 12, 13 to in that race. Okay.
And you get max value that way. And I
So
call
I don't
you.
know what
Everyone
next
calls.
card is coming. My only hope here is I know this now. At the time, I probably felt good. I need a diamond to give me life here. No. Oh, geez.
Oh God.
So
Well-
neither of you like that card,
No.
supposedly. Right?
This is why me back in the day, whenever this hand was played, I'd probably be kicking myself, in an analysis here is like, damn it, I should have gone to 12. I should have gone. So
It's a weird bet size for me here. $8. I guess this is probably a leak for me. This is me thinking I'm kind of trying to feel you out. I'm trying to see what's scary. Did you just do that little min raise thing as just a play? I probably no longer feel so great about my hand being good, but there's a chance I still feel good. Like if I still think you're on king 9. So this is kind of a goofy, it's sort of value-y, but it's also sort of feeler, Look, Jay's taking notes on me right now as we talk.
No, I'm looking at the date. I'm trying to figure out why there's such a different play. Like these are different plays than what we would do nowadays. This is December of 2021. So
and if I'm and that-
pretty far back.
The value feeler. It's like a goofy in-betweener. But I don't know if I don't like the play. I really don't. I'm
but,
surprised.
it's interesting is if we go back to the flop, if when BJ, when you put your $4 bet down and I only min click raise, if I'm you, I'm putting me on ace king.
Yeah, you know what? That's true. You're right. I probably have it.
Yeah.
I probably think I'm still ahead. I probably
So-
think you've got ace king or you have a lower kicker 9 or
Yeah.
maybe like a pair of 8s. And
Because
so
I'm probably min clicking to say like, oh, you know what, I'm trying to assert myself here, but I didn't feel confident enough to go to
not a real assertion.
12, right. And
Right,
so
yeah.
if I'm you, I'm thinking, well,
I
freaking
probably,
Spike just got an ace king here.
yeah.
I don't know if this helps, but this was 12:50 in the morning.
1250, 1250 or 1215?
12:50, almost 1 in the morning.
Okay.
So it is really weird. I don't know.
What are you still doing on the table?
Yeah,
Adrian?
shocked by that, Radula.
That must be Friday. That must be a Saturday morning.
Radula, what do you think about my $8 bet here? I don't like it, but J1, you're making me kind of like it again if I think that you have ace king.
It's not bad. It's if you think that he's doing it with ace king of diamonds or something, you don't want him to get a free card.
or a weaker 9.
You
Because
know,
it can be value-y and it can be feeler. It can be both, right?
Oh, yeah, and the only reason why this probably makes it an easy call for J1 is because he's blocking Jack 10 so heavily.
Sure.
So
yeah, so I
don't
look
know.
at that. If you know, if you were to put out that $8 bet, and if the hand were played as well, and if I think about, well, crap, all of a sudden now there's an overcard to my pair.
Sure.
God, what would I do today? Today, I'd probably have to flat this. So it'd be interesting to
Yeah.
see what I did.
But J1, there's no way you really put me on a queen here.
Oh,
Right?
geez. What was
The min raise back in a geez.
So that's why I was 1 a.m. So this is why I call it the leveling warp, because there must be something going on in your brains right now. Like,
Wow.
J1 is repping the Jack 10 now with
Yeah,
pocket
so
jacks.
now I'm absolutely repping the Jack 10. So the only thing I can think of what I was thinking back then is like, look, I'm gonna rep Jack 10. I've got blockers to that anyway.
Right,
And
you have blockers. Yeah. No, but I
and-
totally get it. I like repping when you know it's very unlikely they have it and you know
Yeah.
it's very reppable. So I don't know what I do here. Jeez.
So I don't know. Even if you have, would Jack 10 really raise that small without having
That's-
diamond? I mean, look how wet that board is. Oh, I don't know.
no, I mean, now if I'm BJ and I was like, what is the min click raise here?
I
So
know, twice.
so min click raise here twice. I mean,
It could be like a set. You could have like a
I
set
mean,
of
it's like
fours or
I would
something.
probably put myself. I would probably, if I were in BJ shoes, is like
I just flattered,
crap.
man.
Set's got pocket fours here.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Yeah, like a set makes a lot of sense for you now.
Yeah.
It really does. I'm probably like, God damn it, he has a set of something. So I just flat. I'm kind of this is me trying to save money, I think, is my guess, if I could go back in time. Oh geez. So now, God, I have to know I'm losing now. I have to know I'm beat.
So is this a Scotch move? BJ, be honest. Is this a Scotch move, or did you think you can wrap the four here?
To be clear, after a few, it's not like I'm not playing poker still. Let's be but
I know, but it's so starkly different from the other three hands we discussed, where every move was super calculated.
This is probably me just every now and again. I just try to run someone, you just try to run someone off a hand. And I'm betting here, but don't show it yet. But I'm going to bet that J1 brilliantly calls me down and I'm frustrated. But the bet here is me just trying to blow him off, because look at that board now.
Yeah.
The board is scary, right? Let me, a lot of his min check backs, maybe I was thinking he had two diamonds. I could see that.
Yeah.
So if I'm thinking he missed his flush draw,
yeah, absolutely.
because the min check back, our min raise back kind of is flush drawy to me, because what are you trying to do? You're trying to build that pot. Just
Build the pot.
build that pot.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm sitting here going like, he missed his flush. Boom. Right. Or, maybe even put you on jacks. And I'm like, look, he can't call with that board with jacks. Because
Okay, that's not a Scotch play at all then. Actually,
No,
I don't remember the hand. This is me just taking a guess. But here's what it is, Jay. It's that I realize the only way I win this hand is to get him to fold. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And when
I want this pot. This pot is mine. Yeah.
well, and it's the only way I'm going to get it. I'm not gonna get it
you don't want to give up on it, right?
Yeah, it was probably me being way too stubborn. So that's the Scotch. I get too stubborn with the Scotch, and
that's interesting, is because depending on what I was thinking at the time, and so, when you let out on the flop,
right.
So again, I'm probably if my train of thought is still consistent, where I believed you had two diamonds, I believe you have the
I
missed
missed the flush draw. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It totally looks like a missed flush draw by me too. Is the funny thing.
Yeah.
It totally looks like a missed flush draw.
Yeah. So definitely the call, and
you got a call, but it's a tough call.
And you block Jack 10 again, right? I mean that if you're gonna call,
what would have been interesting, and unfortunately it's not in the hand logs. I would have loved to have seen how much time passed between when Mayo makes that shove on the river and how long it took me to make that call.
Sure.
Okay, well I have two questions for J1. If you have pocket tens, is it still the same thing to you? Would you still have called?
If I have pocket tens,
slight difference. I think it has to be the same. What do you think, Jay?
Yeah, you know what? It's got to go back to what I thought of Mayo's bet on the flop.
Okay.
So, so I have to put him. I have to say he's got a 9 or he's on a diamond draw. Both
okay, now
which is both true. On the flop,
Yeah.
And then my second question follow up is that, say you somehow ended up with King 9 in this spot, which you're losing, right? Do you also call because he's got missed diamonds?
No, I probably fold.
Oh, interesting.
So that's the cutoff for you, because in a vacuum, those are all the same hand, right? He either has missed diamonds or not a lot of the time.
I would probably have to fold, because knowing that the queen is out there, I probably would have folded. I probably would fold.
So if you fold there on the thing that with the king 9 that Jay's describing, good on you. That's really good play, because what I was going to go back to was a comment we had a few hands ago, which is that's how I do get paid, right? Is that because you call me here with jacks on that board, if you also call me with king 9 because you just think, oh, Mayo's just doing a move, or I missed my flush draw, whatever, that's how that should bounce. Now I've run so negative against you again under odds for so long, but in theory, right? Jay's right. Those should be the same hands in a sense.
Yeah. He's absolutely.
So that's how it should balance for me when I make that play, right? Is because sometimes you'll call me with king 9 there. Sometimes you'll call me with jacks. Yeah. I lose some, I win, because it's so hard to, right? So that's how, so if you're able to fold king 9 to that play, but call with jacks, that's really impressive.
It's all going to depend on what the Magic 8 Ball told me at that time. Did I believe he was playing for the flush draw, or did I believe that he's playing a strong 9?
So I personally call.
Go ahead, Jay. Sorry.
So what's weird is I personally, I'm more likely to fold the king 9. Than I don't know. It's tough though, because there's such a difference between jack 9 and king 9, because with the jack blocking, I don't know if you want to be able to unblock jack type hands, or do you want to block that type hand? I'll have to think about that. But I know there's a difference to me, not just in like overall, because they're all the same in terms of value in general. Sure. They're around the same absolute value. But I need to
such
think
a razor
about that.
difference. That's why I'm so impressed, J1. If you would fold king 9 there, but called you.
I mean, he sees the cards. I mean,
yeah.
Hey, I've talked a lot about my game. Let me ask you guys a question here. Give me the reverse tells here. Is it interesting at all, or does it mean anything, or how do you interpret the fact that I left 225 behind the jam? You notice that?
Yeah. In tournaments, that's more intimidating for me, for sure.
That was a pot bet, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. I think it was I think I picked it out.
Can you go back and replay it? I think what did you actually?
If it was a pop bet, then it was a pop bet. But I thought it was me. I do that a lot. I do that tricky thing. To me, it looks scary.
You went $1 less than the.
I went $1 less, and I did $1 less.
So Mayo typed that in, right?
I typed that in. So that how do you respond to that? You're saying in tournaments it's scary, Jay?
In tournaments it's scary because then it's like, okay, why is he leaving his tournament life open? Because in cash games they can reload regardless. So to me, it's irrelevant. I don't think that hard, I think, with regards to that. And with you, I know you're trying to do something sometimes. And so since you usually have a modus operandi or some sort of mens rea involved here, intent.
Now I wonder if you, I wonder if you actually type that out, or because if we remember back in the day here, all of the bet increments had to be in terms of 25 cents. So maybe you use the slider and you didn't pull it all the way to the right. Maybe.
No, I never use the slider.
Oh, you never use the slider. Okay,
and so I'm giving so much away now. I type almost every one of my bets.
Okay.
And
Buster talked about that, and then I remember bringing that up to Mayo. I'm like, that's really interesting. And the Mayo's like, I've thought about that since day one.
I thought about it a lot. Was it typed or was it clicked?
Yeah.
I think about it all the time. And then so Jay, you're absolutely right. Of course, I'm trying to do something here. I know. Remember, my brain at this point, I'm assuming, is saying the only way I'm going to win this pot is by just getting him to fold. And so I'm trying to make it look even more intimidating of a bluff.
It looks stronger that way.
In my view, it looks stronger. So Jason, you're giving away all my tricks here because you told everybody, like, in a cash game, it's irrelevant. So I should just ignore it. Stop it. I want people to pay attention to this.
I don't, like I told you, BJ, even in person when we play at your house, I'm just like, I'm going to tune him out. It's just better to tune BJ out, because sometimes people who are drunk and high are just giving everything away to BJ. One person literally turned his hand over to you.
There is my good friend Crazy Pete. We call him.
I love that kid.
I love
that guy's a good man. Good man.
Well, hey, this has been super fun, guys. Thank you so much.
That's. I'll put us back on the screen.
Yeah, you guys are great. Hey, let me just say to everybody in the whole world, love playing with obviously these two brothers of mine. Love playing with everybody in the SJG community. We have such a weird, fun community that was sort of built through the crappiness of COVID. And also thanks to Jay. I don't say it enough, for hosting. It's a lot of work, and we all appreciate it. It means
thanks, Jay.
Yeah, it's definitely a labor of love, because I know we all love to do it, and so I am absolutely happy to do it. So
I would have gone crazy during COVID without poker, for sure.
Yeah, it kind of was a lifeline for me. I mean, look, we'll be real serious at the end of the show. Like I battled some depression issues all through COVID, and was really struggling with some mental health stuff. It was just so hard for me, man. I had to be around people. And so,
and also your kids missing out on the biggest parts, right?
That was the hardest part for me. I don't know.
That was hard.
Watching. The hardest part for me is the last, taking your kids out of school for a year. And I love California, but I was just getting so pissed, like these
Yeah.
the harm. It does real harm to kids. So yeah, it was just killing me, and it was just a rough time. And so having poker, even in this form I don't prefer,
Yeah.
it's been great. But what's been really amazing about it is the real friendships and community that's happened.
Yeah. I consider J1 and you lifelong friends.
The two of you are good brothers and friends for life. But I think I could just start naming everybody on the site. I think of as, I shouldn't say I think of, we're real friends.
Not Len though. I don't think Len. It's
Here's what's funny. Remember, Len and I used to be these just at each other forever, and then Len came back, and when he came back, he and I started chatting on the side, and
I love Len. It's just always fun because
great.
He's the only one that consistently loves to rub bluffs in my face.
He's a needler, man. He's a needler. But I love Joe. I love Deez. I love Chris. I love everybody. We have such a great gang. I could literally name everyone.
Yeah, it is absolutely a great community. I'm glad people enjoy playing and enjoy people's company. And yeah, you know what? Everyone bring your friends. Let's grow it even more, and let's find those good people out there that want to play, and let's bring them in. So
I vote we have BJ back again. I can find more hands, I promise.
You know what I want? I was suggesting this. The audience can decide in the comments. I think we have a whole show of just Bobby Blue hands.
I could find them. Dude, I wish there was a search function for that, but I bet you I could.
I'm not endorsing him. He's a crazy person, but I like him, but I don't.
You gotta respect them, though. I mean, you may not endorse him,
but I don't go out with him. He's don't drink anything he hands you. Like, just don't trust him. You guys are great. I have to run to another.
Just real quick, special thanks to J2 for organizing, getting the hands together, getting all the hands inputted into the website to do the replay. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I loved like imagining in my head, this would be more fun if they knew, and this one would be more fun if they didn't know. I just thought playing with the idea would be fun.
Yeah.
This was a blast. I'd love to come on anytime. So really
absolutely. Thank you for our community who's watching, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, just drop myself or J2 a line, and let's get it scheduled. Looking forward to bringing these back into a more consistent fashion.
For sure. I love watching them when I'm not on them. I've loved every one of the shows. So I'm amen to that. Thank you, guys.
Take care, guys. Have a good weekend.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.